conference play in the very first week of the road to WAC Vegas. I'm your host, Rachel Vigil. Now, last week was full of surprises, and you can check out all that action on our weekly roundup. So let's move ahead to this week. We've got a big matchup with GCU traveling down to the Rio Grande Valley. We've got Alessandro Lever and Leslie Varner Jr., and we'll talk about those guys in just a second. But this game will take place at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN+, brought to you by Adidas. Now let's look at the key matchups for this game. Lotes start off 7-6, showing just how tough their non-conference schedule was. They're now 2-0 in conference play with wins against two red-hot teams in Utah Valley and Seattle U. Reminder that this game against UTRGV is on Saturday, so the Lopes will travel to play New Mexico State on Thursday night. GCU has held its past 5 opponents to 39.6% shooting. Now on to the Vaqueros. They're 9-8 overall. With a hot win over CBU, they were trailing by 16 but came back to win 81-74. Now GCU scored 53 points in the second half of their last game, and that's the second game in a row that they've scored over 50 points in the second half. Now they're the only team in the WAC to pick up a road win during the opening weekend, and these two teams last squared off in February of 2018, where UTRGV hit a three-pointer by Xavier McDaniel Jr. to secure the win. Alessandro Lever had 22 points, and the Lopes are 8-2 all-time against UTRGV. But note that for both of those wins for UTRGV, they happened in the Valley, and that's where this game on Saturday will be taking place. Now on to featured players, starting with Alessandro Lever. The 6'10" center is averaging 14.9 points per game. He led the team in points, field goals, and free throws. He's averaging 4.3 rebounds per game, which puts him second on the team. Leslie Varner, the second for the Vaqueros, is averaging 12.4 points per game, has a field goal percentage of 43.6%, and his second on the team in three-pointers with 16. All right, we are now joined by head coach Lew Hill from UTRGV. Coach, you have two good matchups this week. Let's start off with CSU Bakersfield, who's coming off of that buzzer beater. How about what makes them so dangerous?
Just how hard they play. You know, they play very similar to us in different schemes on defense, trapping and just getting out in transition. But they got several players who can make shots too. So they're a good, physical, deep team.
And they forced UVU to give 17 turnovers last week, and you guys are number 3 in the nation for steals. So how do you make sure that you're the one taking away the ball and they're not doing that?
Well, that's who we are. That's what we are. That's part of our culture. We're attacking. We have an attacking scheme, offensively and defensively, and we're just always attacking the ball and playing in the passing lanes and constantly just getting up in you to make you go faster than you want to go.
And then moving on to your next game after that, you got GCU coming down to the Rio Grande Valley. What about that team and Coach Dan Marley makes them so difficult to play?
They're a big, strong, physical team. They just bang you inside, and you know they're well coached and well disciplined, and it's a different of styles. So I think that game would determine what styles is taking over the game. That's who will win.
You guys are 2-8 against GCU, but you're not having to deal with the Havocs and their fan base at home. So is it the home court advantage you have, or is it not having to deal with them?
I think they have a great home court advantage, but, we played in big arenas. That doesn't affect us at all. It's just that their crowd really gets behind them and make them play up a notch. But I don't think it bothers us either way because we played in big arenas before.
Let's talk about Leslie Varner Jr. He's been a little bit quiet recently. Does that mean he's due for a big game?
Well, we hope so. You know, we need him to bounce back and have a great game for us because we got other people stepping up. So if we get him going again, that'll be a big plus for us.
And then, Coach, my last question for you. I know it's only the second week of conference play, but you guys are 3rd in the standings. How do you make sure to maintain a legitimate contender to win the WAC regular season title?
Well, you got to win all your home games. So these 2 games here are very, very important. But, you know, we're taking Bakersfield first. You know, we don't never jump to the next game. So, but this is a must-win. If we're going to have a chance to win the WAC conference, you got to take care of home base.
Perfect. All right, Coach. Well, thank you. We'll let you get back to practice. I can hear those guys in the background. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Another good matchup that you can catch on Thursday night will be UMKC taking on CBU for the women's side. Two WAC powerhouse stars in Erica Mattingly and Brittany Thomas. That game will be on the WAC Digital Network at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Thursday the 10th. Let's take a look at those two girls. Erica Mattingly, the junior, leads the WAC with 19.4 points per game. She now scores double digits in all but one game this season. She also leads the WAC in assists and steals, with her own career high of 8 steals coming off of Saturday's game against Chicago State. The guard ranks 31st in points and 8 in assists nationally. On the other side of the ball, Brittany Thomas, she's averaging a double-double with 10.7 rebounds and 14.3 points a game, which leads the Lancers. On 3 occasions, Thomas has scored more than 20 points per game, and she's got 9 games where she's got double digits for rebounds. Now looking at the key matchup, the Roos are the top scoring team in the WAC, averaging 75.7 points per game. Coming in second in scoring offenses is CBU with 73.4 points per game. It'll be the battle of the offenses on Thursday night as these two teams take on each other. UMKC is coming off a hot shooting road win against Chicago State where they scored 111 points. Freshman Emily Ivory was a 3-point machine in that game against the Cougars. She had a school record for 8 3-pointers, now putting her at 37 total for the season. The Roos have gone 5-1 in the last 6 games, heading to Riverside for Thursday's matchup. Now for the Lancers, they rank first in the WAC for rebounding, assists, and 3-pointers, but are coming off of 2 tough losses as they fell to NM State and UTRGV. We've got some other games for you to watch this week as we have a rematch of last year's WAC Tournament's men's championship game as Grand Canyon takes on New Mexico State. That game is on the 10th starting at 7 p.m. You can find it on various regional sports networks, and another goodie for you to tune into is UTRGV playing CSUB. The women will tip off at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN 3. Then finally on Saturday the 12th, we got Seattle U playing at UVU. Both teams went 0-2 during the opening weekend of conference play. That game will be on at 7 p.m. on the WDN. So on Tuesday, I sent out a tweet with a question, so hopefully you're able to win a prize pack from the WAC, which includes 2 all-session tickets to the WAC tournament. Milan Aqua scored 36 points against New Mexico State, so which player, male or female, do you think will score the most points this week? Use the hashtag HeyRachel and let me know your guesses. You can reply back to my tweet. My handle is at Rachel Vigil 24, but don't worry if you don't have a Twitter, you can also do it on Facebook and Instagram, and it's a bonus if you tell me how many points you think they're going to score. Tickets also went on sale on Tuesday for the WAC Vegas tournament. You can check them out on Ticketmaster, and you'll have to let me know if you're going to be heading out to Vegas for the tournament. It's definitely going to be a good one. We hope you guys enjoyed this week's Road to WAC Vegas. For the WDN, I'm Rachel Vigil.